financial, they finance the whole budget, and they want the rights, whatever they can get. So at the end, they have to ask themselves very honestly. So what is my financial input? We are discussing every model, and we are open to every model, to have a licensing model, to have participation in rights. But at the end, when I finance as a German broadcaster 100% of the whole show, why should I give away rights? That's one point. And the other one is on the German producer side, when we said, hey, we are launching Comedy Central and we produce 250 half hours this year, 07. And it was really interesting that only small creative units, small creative producers was pitching us ideas. So I would say, and then when we talked with the bigger production companies, they said, oh, listen, your budgets are a little bit tight. I don't know. I don't really want to produce for you. So what is your budget compared to the big networks, to RTL, to Sat.1? I don't, or we don't see really a chance to produce for you. Of course, budget is important at the end. But bring us creative, small shows. We don't ask for a big Sat.1 or RTL show. So where is this creativeness? And everyone is talking in this country about it's so different in UK. And if you're as a broadcaster out there and asking, it's really disappointing what reaction you get.
I think there's a bit of a myth in the German TV industry, and that is the fully funded myth. Because you actually don't pay 100%, because the development is not really paid for by the network. And actually that is quite a crucial amount of money, particularly if you look at smaller creative companies, but also if you look at a company like ours, which is a medium-sized business. If I look what we spent on development, and if I look what I can put into the budget, which are basically based on antiquated systems devised by a public service broadcaster about 30 years ago, which basically says the cost of production plus, a margin plus handling cost. And they actually don't reflect today's production costs, nor do they actually reflect the amount of money that we invest in development. And that's why I could agree with you, Gary. I mean, I do agree with most of the things you've said, but actually we don't live in a fully funded environment. I think that's something we need to make the networks understand, and we need to make that understood in a partnership way. I'm not saying that there is a moral right for us to have those.
But realistically, and I realize that I'm an anomaly here, yeah, because I'm a producer, as it were, talking like this, but I'm not actually arguing against the importance of having formats. I'm arguing for a creative environment in which local producers are manifestly rewarded or have the opportunity to do so. I just think that particular kind of argument that we've just heard is over, because actually, if you were to look deeply into what you spend on development in a single project, if you were to actually ascribe the development cost to one project, the chances are that in most cases it's fairly minimal in relation to the size of the budget. Otherwise, you're investing a huge amount of money by going down the wrong track, and you really shouldn't be doing so. The big shows...
Show us the right track.
The big shows... I don't know the right track. I'm also a producer. I'm also a producer. If you look at what Millionaire cost to produce, that's presumably a huge cost during the duration of its development, relatively. If you look at the ones that I know, Big Brother, Survivor, all of which I worked on, those are big costs that were all born. No, they weren't all born. In 2 of the 3 cases, they were born